to talk about global staffing strategies. So we're looking at doing potential sites in either Mexico or Ireland. In Mexico, no more than 8-hour workdays, and you can do 7 hours for night shifts. Employees in Mexico are not required to work more than a 48-hour week. They are paid for 7 days or 56 hours. So they are paid for 7 days regardless if they work for 7 days or not. A pretty interesting thing that I found out that in Mexico, employers must pay employees at least 15 days salary before December 20th of each year, and that is based on the number of days worked that year by the employee. Now in Ireland, night workers shall not work for more than 8 hours for work involving special hazards or heavy physical or mental strain. The maximum average weekly working hours over a 4-month period cannot exceed 40 hours. And on January 1st of 2019, the minimum wage for an experienced adult worker increased to about €9.80 an hour, and that is the equivalent of $11.07 an hour with using US currency. So some benefits of choosing a host country staffing strategy. So first, the company can send employees from its home country, which are referred to as expatriates, expats, or home country nationals. Second, it can recruit host country nationals, which would be natives of the host country. And third, it can also hire third country nationals who are natives of a country other than the home country or the host country. Language barriers are eliminated, possible better understanding of local rules and laws, and hiring costs such as visas are eliminated. You would also decrease some of the less obvious expenses, such as having an expatriate move out and having to cover some of the costs of their moving. So for example, for an administrative assistant, the language would be benefited as natives would be able to decipher messages and relay messages to others. And as we are not looking for a host site in a third world country where technology is limited, computer skills should be okay. For the shipping and receiving clerk, the language barriers would also be reduced, and forklift truck use is pretty standard and doesn't usually vary country to country. Now, with looking at the machinist position, it does require some difficulty, just because the job itself does require some measurements and mathematics. The United States currently practices the imperial system, whereas both Ireland and Mexico are using the metric system. The only thing that I found that we would need to change about our job description would be that the machinist position in Ireland will need to have obtained a CNC certification. So for the account controller and the VP of sales and marketing, should we use expatriates? So if we were to use an expatriate to fill this role, in Ireland, work permits are usually granted for an initial 2-hour period, 2-year period, and for a further 3 years upon renewal. After 5 years, there may no longer be a need for a work permit. In Mexico, a temporary resident visa can be granted. These are designated for people who wish to be in Mexico for more than 180 days a year. You can hold a temporary resident visa for up to 4 years. And that was what I had found.